Okay, we're going to basically put it back together. There's a bearing in here. You just want to make sure there's grease on it, that it's rolling, it's not seizing up in there. Don't get any grease on the shoes, or on the clutch valve, or on the belt, or on the pulleys. It'll just make your belt slip. You want to make sure you don't nick the bearing or the shaft. It all spins good. Clean the bell up. Go in there like that. Make sure you cinch these up again. Stupid impact gun. Okay, so I'm going to put this variator back on without the spacer. Put the pin on it. Slide it on. Now, just take your Sharpie. And make a mark. Whatever, pretty straight. So to put the belt on, best thing to do, hang it on the top, reach in between the pulleys and squeeze. And the tighter the spring, the harder it is. Get that belt down in there. Nice, you got lots of room to get this up here. Now when you put the outside pulley on, you want to make sure the belt is like this. Because if this is too tight, you'll pinch it. You'll pinch it in between there. And it won't move. Now if I take this, there's actually about 1/8 of an inch still in there, so make sure it's all the way in. Now the spacer. This belt is about all the way it can go in the middle there. which means that's as big as this belt's going to get. Which means to expect it to climb over that, it just can't. So I have a feeling you need a longer belt. But the other problem is people take, normally there's washers in here. On the other scooter forums you'll find them called the wedding rings. And people claim that you take that out of there and it brings that interface closer, which allows this belt to climb higher. All it does is it takes away your bottom end. Because what you want for takeoff is you want that belt to be there, on that pin, as low as it can possibly get. When it's like that, it will be as high as it can get here. You'll notice the wear mark on the pulley there, where it's dark and where it's not worn. It can't go any higher than that. If the pin was less diameter outside, it would go higher. Here's where tuning comes in. See how it's just hanging off there? That's where the washers come in. Yes, a washer can be used to de-restrict a variator. But normally, that's how it would be. Then, there's nothing stopping that pulley from biting that belt at low RPM. If you go too big, it'll slip. You get lots of heat in the variator, you cook the crankshaft, the bearings. So, it's weird because this variator, with the stock one, this hangs over a lot more. And it's almost as if you could put this on without the spacer. And I almost prefer that. Because I don't know if you can see, the splines of the shaft aren't even flush with the outside of that pulley. Now you put a 2mm spacer, which is what that thing is, in there, and it's going to be sitting out like this, and it's barely biting that shaft. So it's a little bit of both. You want it to grab the whole thing. You don't want this to be too far in, because then it won't bite properly and you'll strip the splines. You don't want to have this too much of a space, because the belt will slip and create heat. But you don't want to create too tight, because then the belt will bite and it won't shift gears properly. Get used to taking this off, because once you start playing with this, it's a never-ending battle, back and forth. Once you get it tuned though, it's well worth it. So I'm going to be back in once I know this is good. Then I'm going to come back, I'm going to change that contra spring. And if that makes a difference, then I'll keep it. If not, then I come back in and I put the stock one back in. Or I find a better quality spring. I may have to find a longer belt. But I'm going to slap this back together real quick. I don't really know much more I can tell you in here. It's pretty basic to me. I've done it 100 times. Not on this bike. It's been about 10 times now. So it's not that bad. But I'm going to throw some tunes on and I'm just going to put it back together. I'll see what I can do.